Primary and secondary schools in Osun State will on Monday resume for a new academic year. This follows the long break observed after the end of the 2022-2023 academic session. To discuss preparedness for this new academic session, we have with us the Special Advisor to Governor Gov Adeleke on Education, Honorable Teniola Lanlehin. You're welcome on the news at 7.
Thank you.
All right, let's begin with the first question tonight. What are the preparations of the ministry, or can I say how prepared is the Minister of Education in Osun State ahead of the resumption?
I'm just going to say that the ministry, the government, we're all prepared for the students tomorrow and for the teachers as well. Because, throughout the holiday period, we've been working nonstop to make sure we have everything set up for tomorrow. So I can tell you, we've been working hard. We've been working hard. And, and I just want everyone to have a positive mindset that everything will be all right for everyone tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about, recently there was a kind of education summit in this state. What was it all about, and what was the outcome of that summit?
Okay, so first we have to remember that the governor had set up a committee on education, and part of the whole idea was to try and get people, experts in the education field, to come together and find solutions, because we have problems, when it comes to the education sector in Osun State. So the idea of the summit was just to have experts come over and the community, everyone to come and figure out how we can revamp the education sector. So the whole summit was all about that, with people from different parts of Nigeria coming to Osun State and sharing ideas that will definitely help us to revamp the education sector. And part of the whole deal is when everything, we're done with the summit. Now the committee, they've been working hard to put a report together that they're just eventually going to present to the governor of the state. So it's all, coming together, and definitely very soon the reports will be out there for everyone to read, and with all the recommendations that they have. So that's pretty much what the summit was about, just talking, people coming, presenting papers, to give recommendations, and at the same time engage in a positive discourse as to how things will, get better in the education sector. Because as it is right now, we're number 36 in the education, index, performance index, and that's not good. So the whole idea is eventually that we will return to where we need to be. That's to be on top.
All right.
Yes.
As a new academic session begins after the long vacation, the parents have to provide educational resources, school fees and others. We understand that parents are key stakeholders. How do you think they can better fulfill their roles?
So I just want to look in the camera and tell the parents, talk to them. The government cannot do it alone. You are part of the mission. These are your children. We have hours with them, but most of the hours are spent with you, the parents. So you all have a role to play in making sure your children are, well behaved in school, and they're showing responsibility in their academic learning. So parents, I'm just going to encourage you, don't just sit back and expect the government and the teachers to do everything. You are part of, the mission for them to be successful in their learning. Support them, check on them. When they're back from school, talk to them, engage in productive, conversations. Just know what your kid did for the day. Something as simple as a question like, so how did your day go? What did you guys learn today? So parents, you're part of this. You are very important for your child's, success. It's not just the government, it's not just the educators or administrators. You are also part of the solution. So I would expect that this, coming new school year, which actually starts tomorrow, that you will have the children, your kids, our students prepared for learning, because that's the primary objective where the kids are going to school, to learn, not to engage in other things, only learning. So mommy, daddies, please be part of this journey with your children, and don't expect the government to do everything. You all have a role to play in making sure that your children achieve their academic success. So that's what I'm going to tell my amazing parents, because you guys are really amazing.
All right. According to the late president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, he said education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. How do you propose we get more young people interested in education to reduce the number of Nigeria's out-of-school children?
I think that the first thing is, I want everyone to understand that education is the key to success. I don't care what people say about other people making financial success and not being educated. I'm telling you, because I'm a living proof, that education is always the key to success. It brings food to the table. So I do want everyone to know that. So when you're talking to your children, let them value education. Teachers, when you're in the classroom, let them value education. It's not a joke. If you want your future to be bright and successful, education will make that happen. I'm a living proof. Why I'm here today is based on my qualifications. And I'm a global educator, and education has taken me to different parts of the world. So don't let anyone deceive you. And I want students to get that. Instead of wasting time doing things that are not meaningful, do things that will change your lives and your tomorrow. So education, I believe, will always be the key, to success.
Okay.
Nothing else.
All right. Let's talk about girl child education, because you said you are an example right now. According to statistics in Nigeria, there is a large gender disparity between the education which boys and girls receive. Many girls still do not have access to adequate education past a certain age. How can the government and stakeholders address this?
Definitely, I understand what you're talking about. However, everything starts from the home. Parents not bringing those disparities, like, oh, I'm going to only educate the male child, not the female child. Please give the girls the opportunity to learn, because that's going to be what they're going to use as a tool to survive adulthood. Don't focus only on the boys. Let the girls study as well. Give them the opportunity as well, because education should not be based on gender. Like, because you're a woman or a girl, oh, you don't need, education. We all do. Everyone needs that, opportunity to be successful. And our public schools are open to have, girls come in and, enroll in the schools. So I'm just going to appeal to the parents, give the girls a chance to be educated. Around the world, look around, in Europe, Africa, the United States, England, women are doing amazing things. And when you hear them talk about how they got to where they are, they always talk about their parents, letting them, pick the things that are meaningful to them, or as in what they want to study in college, just giving them that freedom. So there's nothing wrong having girls in the classroom and learning, because you never know. One day we may, I believe, we'll definitely have the first female president in Nigeria. It's going to happen very soon. Just let those girls go to school. That's what I'm going to say to my parents.
All right. We hope so.
Yeah.
Many countries across the world have seen several improvements in their mode of teaching and learning, but it appears that Nigeria is a bit behind. How do you think we can catch up?
You know what? We're going to do it. I have the can-do attitude. That means I believe that we can get things done, and I don't like focusing on the negatives about my educators, because I believe there's always room for improvement. So let's just have that positive, I keep saying, mindset that it is doable. We are going to get better. We have, plans. We have policies that we're going to implement. Let's get that report to the governor, and you will all see that we want things to get better. It's not going to be business as usual. And I keep telling people there's a new sheriff in town, and that means it's not going to be business as usual. Things will get better for my educators, for my teachers, for my students, and even the administrators. So I just want everyone to play their role and believe that we can do it, we can get there, we can compete with the world when it comes to education. It's going to happen, and we're working on it. That's all I can say.
All right, I want to sincerely appreciate you for coming on News at 7 today for your insightful discussion today. Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here.
All right, I've been talking with the Special Advisor to Governor Teniola Adeleke on Education, Honorable Teniola Lanlehin. Meanwhile, still in Osun State, some